Have you ever been ready to just, I don't know, pass some time fishing, looking at all the cool stuff that's going around? Well, I'm kind of in that mood. I want to just relax. I don't know that I want to catch a squid here, but I realized that as I'm fishing here, that I don't really have a great place to fish. We've kind of got this wall on the build that we did last time, and it got me a little jealous of kind of this, oh man, what are they calling it? Podcast Pier, where you can come over here. They even have little benches to sit in while you fish. But look at how small their fishing place is. I think we can do better, but don't tell them. We'll keep it a secret. But today, that's kind of what I want to work on, is we actually have a really good place right here in front of our, I don't know, boathouse, and a little bit of a place you can see I set up here where I think we could do some good fishing. This is a good sized lake. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to build right next to our build that we did last time. We need a fishing hut. So let's get working on that today. As you can see, I put down, I don't know, at least a rough representation of what we're going to do. I'm not 100% sure. Ooh, some free squid ink. That's the other benefit of being here, is these squid keep jumping up here and we've got a lot of squid. So not only is this going to be a place for us to put our fishing equipment in, but also all of the stuff that we pull out of here, especially that squid ink. So I'm going to get going on, at least figuring out what we want this building to be, the shape. I think the idea here is that you kind of have a front door, so it's tucked away kind of on the side, so it's not on the path. Here will be the main structure of the building. And the reason I offset this is I really want to look at multiple sight lines as we get going here. So when you're coming across the bridge, that's kind of inset. It kind of gives you this little cove filling here. And as you wrap around the side here, you kind of get that same blocking that sight line out until you just round it, and then you get to see it. Yeah, guys, that's how much I think about sight lines. Because I think too much about it, but that's kind of what I enjoy about Minecraft, is really thinking about those sight lines and how are people really going to be moving through here and what's going to be intriguing for them. So let's jump in and get this building going. I've got the foundation. I'm going to put up some rough walls, and y'all, we are going to use a lot of whites. This is going to be white but grungy. I tried to pick out some like bone blocks, some mushroom blocks, even some calcite to make it look dirty. We will have some parts that are a little on the nicer side, but those are kind of the colors we're going to go with, and then we're going to have a granite roof. We did a little bit of granite over there, but I realized it's so much in the ground, I think it's time that we do a roof out of it. So let me get some walls up and let's see what we've got. Okay, and I'm sure you're ready to be surprised with, I don't know, what am I doing here? Holy cow, I don't know, did I go too crazy on this? Now this is the thing with texturing that you got to have a little bit of confidence in, is that when you do something like this, give it a whole bunch of texture. You have to trust the process. That's what I'm trying to tell myself, because I think I may have gone overboard. But the idea is that the bottom's kind of gross and grungy. The top is a little bit cleaner, but still dirty. I don't know, guys. Maybe I did too much texture on this one. I think the details that we start putting in are really going to tell us, because some of these other buildings aren't as textured, but I figured if this was kind of a fishing boat, a fishing house, that it might be a little dirtier. So we're going to roll with it. Hopefully this is going to work out all right, but I may just keep going through. I need a few of these, polished diorite stairs. That's going to help us indicate where the door is. It's going to look a little better once the door's in there. This is going to be the other side. Got to be careful not to fall in the water. And I think we've got our two doors. So we can come in from the front or from the dock side. We'll have this as kind of the area with all the stuff in it. And I think that's good. I don't know. Let's keep going. We'll keep the process going, see what we can do. Now my idea is that the roof here is kind of pitched up and down here, and then it's not the same direction on this side. It will be on this shorter side up and down, but we're going to go a little flatter with it. And I think that's going to look good, because what we want to do is make this one kind of point that direction, this one point the opposite. And that's what you'll notice in a lot of builds. Like even if we look across the street, you want to have one that points east and west, one that points north and south. Same over there. Same with what we've done here. That's what gives you that kind of feeling that you didn't just build it from one side, you build it from all three. So I'm going to get a basic roof on, and I think what I'm going to do is I originally just thought I was going to use just the granite. I think we're also going to use some packed mud. So I'm going to put at least a concept in there and see if we like it. All right, and we're just getting these last couple blocks in. I think that is our roof line. If I've got it right, let's fly down, see. Oh man, do I like it hanging over? I'm gonna have to make a decision. I made a decision not to do one right here because I think it gets too close to the door. I do like that one, but I think what I was going to do, let me just see. Yeah, I think so. I have this weird idea that maybe if I put trap doors here instead of full slabs, because when I had some of these slabs, you can see it's getting a little too close to the door. So I'll knock those down. I think I still got to figure that out, but I'm going to try a trap door because what I want to do is where you see these as kind of the base, there's going to be a whole platform here that will kind of wrap around, be the dock. At least that's my idea. So if we're taking some of the dark here, I'd like to apply it to the building as well. So it feels like it's kind of a sandwich story instead of just a color, a color, a color. I really want it to kind of blend up. So it feels like it's really one building. And as I was looking at this side, I don't know, this seems pretty boring. If you think about coming over the bridge and it's just this big old side, I don't know. I don't think that's going to look good. So what my idea is maybe I play with some kind of an awning. Oh, and that's not going to work. Some kind of an awning that comes over. I only want this to be too wide. So maybe there's like a post right here. Yeah, I think that's going to look good because then we can kind of have like a little platform here, maybe a little type of a fence. That's going to bring that window down as far as being able to see in. Yep, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to finish off that part of the roof and then we got to get the boardwalk in here. I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like, but we got to have the dock here so we can fish. So let me finish off this roof line and then we're going to figure out what this portion is going to look like. Okay, I think we're onto something here. I had this idea that these would kind of be supporting beams, that they would be grounded and would be holding up this roof. I love the idea of this roof coming off a little. It provides some asymmetry from kind of what we were doing here, but not so much that it seems weird. But if we put like a half slab boardwalk around here, I think that's going to look pretty good. And I'm loving how this is kind of reflected across. Now I need to decide if these walls also go here. Maybe. I don't think it's as big of a support, but I like this idea, so I think I'm going to continue it around. And then what we're doing for the windows here is I want it to kind of look like curtains, not so much with glass. So the idea here is that fences obviously don't connect to walls. So when you alternate it like this, it kind of gives you the window a look with some kind of a detail. And I did that in 2 spots. And I think I'm really liking it. Now we might put something still more on this wall to decorate it out a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe we put some levers kind of holding this up as details. I don't know, we'll figure that out. As you can see, I'm thinking of a flower bed here in the front. But I think that's enough of a direction to kind of start playing with. I don't know, like I put those in, I need to make some more. But like maybe this comes in. Do I have any more of these walls? Yep. Do I have any more planks? Yep. And so maybe we do that and we kind of keep that theme going around. Yeah, I think I like that. We can even put the walls in this one now because we know it looks pretty good. Now, I don't love that this goes right up against that wall. I wish I would have built this out one, but you know, that's okay. I think there's enough of it wrapping around here that it's not going to be that noticeable. Yeah, it's a mistake, but I think we're going to be okay. So I'm going to build out kind of some more of the detailing and let's see how we're looking. Okay, we got the boardwalk in. I think it's going to be looking pretty good. Now, I don't know if I've done too many areas that are worn down. Like this might be a little too heavy, or maybe this is a little too patterned now that I look at it. So we might have to swap out a few, but that's okay. But what I was looking at now is what this what are these, oak trap doors would look like as the railing. Because I want something that makes it look like it's not just floating, but I didn't want something that came up too high. And I think this is going to be about right because you can still see through. It's still walkoverable. I don't know if that's a word, but I think that is going to be about right. You can see through it and it provides just enough that it looks like a railing. So I'm going to go through here and see how well I can walk along this edge, not falling in, and get this in. Okay, and with kind of the awnings on, I think that's really given us what we need. Now we're getting to the point where we've got some awkwardness. Like this roof is kind of short, it's kind of boring up here, and I want this to feel a little more exciting. If it's going to be the first thing people are seeing, so maybe we put like, I don't know, a little chimney coming up with some smoke. I don't know, is there a fish on top? I'm not sure. But the easier part is our dock is not docked very well. It is not grounded to anything. It's just kind of floating at this point. And I feel like we need to make underneath feel a little bit nicer, more connected than just dirt. And so I was thinking, who on the server already has kind of a cool dock idea? Well, if you haven't seen, Izzy or Izabox has a really cool spot out here, and I love the way she's done the docks. Now, hers are a little more on the stony side, and so really we're kind of doing this for inspiration. But if we land here or not, it looks like what she's done is she's got kind of these walls off the front and then wood in the back. Huh. I like that. I think we can make a version that's kind of like that. Now I'm wondering if we do, instead of like these individual ones, since ours is wood, it's a lot smaller, it's not supporting buildings, is maybe we just do wood, and we could do like maybe 3 on the side that go down and some supporting ones in the middle. I like that. Oh, I didn't realize this was dangerous out here. Oh, and it's a kid too. Yep, we're gonna get out of here. Let's fly back home and let's get that thing grounded. I really love what Izzy did, so we're going to come over here and at least mimic some of it, but probably not copy it exactly. Wow, almost couldn't get those words out. So let's sleep, and then let's get this thing anchored into the water. Okay, so my idea is that we're going to take some of these spruce fences, we're going to take some of the dark oak, we're going to come down here and place them. Did I get that underneath it? I think so. Oops, let's get that one back out. And that's kind of the idea there. So I think that's going to be enough. Like over at Izzy's, hers is really kind of a heavy structure. Ours isn't so much. And so I think what that's going to give us is that the dark oak makes it look like it's wet and then it comes up through. Now I'm wondering, do we maybe texture this a little bit better and say, let's see if I can stand. Why am I not standing? There we go. Is maybe like that one got a little more saturated. Let's go back, see how that's looking. Yep, that's gonna work. Now I think I might need to like not be the exact same over there, but I like this idea that those ones feel like they've been waterlogged and these ones are kind of drying out. So I think also I'm gonna do is probably put one over there, and then I'm gonna test and see if I want like a double wide through here, or if I think we can just do like maybe 3 singles. So let's get that in and see how it looks. Yep, 3 little ones I think does it right. It makes it feel like the corners are really anchoring it. The middle ones are there. Now the one thing, and I don't know how often y'all think about this, but right now it looks pretty flat in there. Like I think we need to do either some gravel, some mud. The mud might actually go well because we have mud just over here. And I wonder if we just keep continuing kind of this mud around here, we can even bank it up a little. As you can see, I put a wall in there, but this is now feeling pretty, I don't know, pretty flat. So maybe we'll put some mud down in here, maybe some stone, even maybe some gravel could work. So I'm going to do some decorating. I think we're kind of getting that phase where I'm going to decorate kind of the base here real quick, see if we can get that looking good. And then to kind of round us out, I think we're going to figure out what goes on the roof so that this doesn't just feel like a squatty little building. We need some detail because that's starting to have some detail. We're going to eventually have some other buildings through here. So let's make sure this guy doesn't get lost. So let me do some of the detailing around here, even some of the ground, and then we're going to get the roof up, or the things on the roof done, and we'll call that an episode. Do you ever start decorating and putting a whole bunch of little details in there, maybe some small trees, I don't know, some barrels in there, and then next thing you know, you decide to plunk a big old tree? Yep, that's what we did. I got this tree in there, and I think it's going to work pretty well for this area. Now, I was a little worried this building was going to just sit too much out on its own, but I think this kind of feels like it's anchored in. Gives us a little bit of that height and helps kind of draw us through this area without it just being straight across, so I think that's pretty good. Now, I still think there needs to be something right here, so I'm trying to decide, do I just do a little chimney, or could I make some type of fish sign? I don't know. I can't figure that one out. I might have to go into creative for that one because it can only be what, like 5 blocks long maybe, and maybe a block or 2 tall. So that one might be too hard. We might end up with a chimney, but let me show you some of the details that we did around here because I think they're pretty fun. So throughout this whole area, we have a whole bunch of barrels. Obviously we have the boardwalk. I put some more barrels back here. We haven't done anything in the inside yet, so I've still got that to work on. And then there's some barrels here. So really the idea is that there are so many fish, or maybe they're being collected here so that they can go on the bigger ship that we'll eventually do here. But those type of little details are really what I think makes it feel like it's lived in. Like these barrels have been here so long, even the grass is growing around them. And I'm gonna need to put the interior on this. I think we're gonna do that later. As you noticed probably throughout my whole city, there are a lot of interiors that we can do. So maybe we'll get Millie or E or someone else to come over and help us do some of these interiors. But I really think that's what's going to start making this feel like it's home. And we might even do a little mini series where I see if I can actually decorate. Because what I realize is there's no people around here, and we need this to feel a little more lived in. So even though the buildings and the trees and the bushes all look good, we need that human element. So watch for that in the future, but I'm going to go see if I can crack a little idea for either a chimney or for a fish sign, and then that's going to be it for this episode. So how did the fish go? Well, it didn't go so well. I kept putting up different fish ideas there, and all it kept looking like was some kind of a tropical fish store. So instead, we just put a simple little chimney up there. And really all that's helping to do is give us a little bit of height without the building being too much taller. So I think that's going to be perfect because as we look at our sight lines, it's enough to kind of intrigue us to come around. You get to see the city in the background. And from this other direction, as you're coming across the bridge from other parts, you just get enough of a little bit of interest, like something is actually in there and working. So I think that's going to do it for kind of that roof and what we need. And that, y'all, is going to do it for this episode. I really love how this city is coming along. We've built so much in here. And in the next episode, I have an idea for another shop, we'll say. It's basically I keep running out of materials and I want to have them close to my base. So in the next episode, we might be right back over there by timber time. But until that episode, we'll talk to you soon.